Hi, good morning. I'm Miss Mary Jean Arbolado and welcome to my online demo teaching. For today's video, we will be tackling about politics and governance. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to identify the powers of a president, express the powers of the president by means of graphic organizer, and interact actively with their group mates during group work. Let's do this. Good morning, class. How are you today? Okay, please stand for a prayer.
Lead me, Lord. Lead me by the hand and help me face the rising sun. Comfort me through all the pain that life may bring. There's no other hope that I can lean upon. Lead me, Lord. Lead me all my life. Walk by me across the lonely roads that I may face. Take my arms and let your hand show me the way. Show the way to live inside your heart all my days, all my life. You are my light, you're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my light, I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding love all through my life. Lead me, Lord.
Okay, class, you may now take your seats. Secretary, may I know who is absent today? Okay, that's good to hear. Okay, class, before we start to tackle with our new lesson, let's have first review on our previous lesson. So, what are we discussed last meeting? Anyone? Okay, Miss Chloe. Okay, very good. Now, I will show to you some images that will aid us in our lesson for today. Okay, class, do you know who is in the first image? Okay, very good. How about in the second image? Very good. And the third image? And finally, who is in the last image? Okay, very well said, class. The images that I have shown you are some of the former presidents and of course our present President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. With a great first power comes great responsibility. This means that if you are a great person with great given powers, you also have many responsibilities. A president is a great person, right? Now, if a president is a great person, then do you know what are the powers of the president? Today, we will discuss the different powers of the President of the Republic of the Philippines. Let's go over with our lesson proper, class. What is power? Power is the ability to do something or act in a particular way. Who do you think is the most powerful person in our country? Anyone? How about President Rodrigo Duterte? Bear in mind, class, that the president is the highest elected official of our country. It is the people who elected him in that position. As a democratic country, the most powerful is the voice of the people. Remember the Latin phrase, Salus populi est suprema lex, which means the welfare of the people in the supreme law in the supreme law. It means therefore that the powers of the president comes from the people who elected him. To better understand our lesson, let's have a group activity. I will divide the class into 3 groups. In each group, kindly select your leader, secretary, and presenter. And now, from the handouts I provided to you, please scan it and take a look at the different sections of Article 7 of the Philippines Constitution and identify and discuss among yourselves the different powers of the President mentioned in those sections. After which, kindly develop a graphic organizer of the powers of the President on the piece of cartolina provided to you. Write the names of the group members at the back of the paper. I will give you 10 minutes to finish your work. After that, the reporter from each group will come forward and present their work in front of the class. Did you understand the instructions, class? Okay. In class, please take note the following rubrics for your activity. Promptness 60%, delivery 20%, neatness 10%, creativity 10%, and the total of 100%.
After 10 minutes.
Class, be ready with your presentation. Each group will be given 2 minutes to present their output.
After all the presentations.
Thank you so much for a very nice presentation. Now, let us check your work. Executive Power Section 1 states that until and unless a law is declared unconstitutional, the President has a duty to execute it regardless of his doubts as to its validity. Faithful execution clause. The President shall have the control of all executive departments, bureaus, and offices. He shall ensure that laws are faithfully executed. Power of Appointment Section 16. The President shall nominate and with the consent of the Commission on Appointments, appoint the heads of the executive departments, ambassadors, public ministers, and consul or officers of the armed forces of the Philippines from the rank of colonel or naval captain and other officer whose appointments are vested in him in the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Letter C. Power of Removal Section 16. General Rule. This power is implied from the power to appoint. Exemption. Those appointed by the President where the Constitution prescribes certain methods for separation from public service. Letter D. Power of Control Section 17. Control over all executive department, bureaus, and offices. Letter E. Military Powers Commander-in-Chief Clause Section 18. To call out the armed forces of the Philippines to prevent or suppress lawless violence, invasion, or rebellion whenever it becomes necessary to meet the emergency situation. Pardoning Power Section 19. As the President entrusted with the execution of the laws, he may release and exempts the needed for the basis of legislation. The President usually discharges the informing power through what is known as the State of the Nation Address. Other power or residual power. A. Call to Congress to a special session. B. Approve or veto bills. C. Deport aliens. D. Exercise emergency like war, law, limited, unnecessary, and tariff powers. E. Power to classify or reclassify lands. Now, based on our lesson class, What do you think is the importance of knowing the different powers of our president? Having knowledge of the different powers of the president is very important. As a Filipino citizen, you have to know the different powers of the president, including the scope and limitations to prevent possible abuses that may be committed by him in the exercise of his functions or duties. Do you have any questions about our lesson today, class? It seems that you all understand the lesson. Now be ready for a short quiz and get 1 sheet of paper. I will just only read the question once because this serves or just a review of our lesson for today. It is only just 1 to 5 items. 1. What branch of the government is Article 7 all about? A. Legislative branch. B. Judicial branch. C. Executive. Or D. Commission on Appointment. Number 2. Who is the head of our country and government? A. Senate President. B. Speaker of the House. C. Chief Justice. Or D. President. Number 3. The power of the President to call out the armed forces to prevent or suppress lawless violence, invasions, or rebellion. A. Police power. B. Power of control. C. Military power. Or D. Diplomatic power. Number 4. This power is implied from the power to appoint. A. Deportation power. B. Power of control. C. Power of removal. Or D. Pardoning power. 5. Last number, the power to contract or guarantee foreign loans on behalf of the Republic of the Philippines. A. Borrowing power. B. Power of control. C. Diplomatic power. And D. Budgetary power. Okay, you done? And so for your assignment, study and read in advance the qualification, terms of office, and rules on succession of the president. That's all our lesson for today, class. Thank you.